development at this time is premature, as they are subject to change prior to their formal submission process. In light of the informal and preliminary nature of the presentation today, the public has been invited to attend both via the Zoom webinar platform or streaming live on YouTube and learn about the concepts associated with this proposed development in your city, but comment will not be offered at this time. Any person interested in commenting on the proposal discussed today is encouraged to contact their elected representatives and also to take advantage of the numerous opportunities to speak before the Planning and Zoning Commission and the City Council when, if such occurs, the development is formally submitted for the city's consideration. Roll call of committee members, please.
Councilmember Brost. Councilmember Clark.
Here.
Mayor Boland.
Here.
Chair Beatty.
Here.
Thank you.
So what we have on the agenda for tonight is a design concept for a property located in the Wildwood portion of Chesterfield Valley on the west side of North Etherton Road, north of its intersection with Centaur Road. Mr. Runich or Mr. Newberry, do you have anything to speak on?
Well, Mr. Chair, thank you for the opportunity. And as was noted in your introductory remarks, given the preliminary nature of this particular review process, the department will just identify the items it's provided for the benefit of the committee members for tonight's discussion. First, the Department of Planning provided an aerial photograph of the location, the subject site, and then the surrounding properties and street network pattern to kind of orientate you as best as possible. The petitioner's design team has provided what I would consider a fairly refined concept plan for the use of the property that is the subject of tonight's discussion. And then finally, this property is designated M3 Planned Industrial District. It has been for the better part of 50 years. And that ordinance that was approved by the St. Louis County Council, it was also included in the packet of information for the committee's benefit. Those are the items available tonight for consideration, along with the items that will be presented by the petitioner's design team. If there are any questions of Mr. Brown, our Director of Public Works, Mr. Cross, our City Administrator, or the Department of Planning from the committee members, we'd be glad to answer them at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Welcome to Mr. Kurtz and Mr. Meyer. Do you have any opening comments about your project? You're muted.
I just want to say thanks for your time. I know you guys are busy just like the rest of us. And I guess the site plan, is that something that Travis or somebody can put up so we can speak to it, or how does that work?
Yeah, they should be able to show their screen.
Yep. So my name's Tim Meyer. I'm the civil engineer working with the Kurtzes on this, and we put together this sketch plan to kind of show the concept of what they're planning to do. And I can let Matthew talk in more detail about his business, but in general, it's similar to the FIC process. It's a composting, mulch processing kind of facility. And we're gonna try to line up our entrance opposite the Wings Corporate Drive on the other side, if we can, if that works okay for our site plan. We think it probably will. And yeah, we're gonna obviously submit this plan when we get there to MSD and do whatever is needed to meet their requirements as well as the city's. I don't have too much more to say. I'll let Matthew jump in and speak to it or field questions from the rest of you.
Thank
Folks,
you.
this is Matthew Kurtz. Can you hear my audio?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm sorry, my video is not coming up. So my name is Matthew Kurtz, owner of Kurtz Nursery and Topsoil. We are a fourth generation nursery supplier. Have kind of migrated over the generations to follow the ebbs and flows of the industry. But we primarily supply bulk materials to the landscape industry and to residents. We are Wildwood residents ourselves. We moved out here in 2005 and just dearly love the city, and we operate in Chesterfield Valley right now. And would just love to continue our operation in a better visibility and a nicer location in Wildwood, to say we're all in one spot. So again, thank you for letting us present tonight.
Thank you. Do any of the members of the committee have any comments? Councilmember Clark?
I guess I have a question. You know, I drove by there today and it's very wet. Is that any of that area over there, Mr. Vanich? Is that a floodplain area?
Ms. Clark, it's levee protected property, but given the elevations, oftentimes when it rains, the property doesn't drain properly. And I'm sure Mr. Meyer can explain it better. I got an education from him on another site relative to this. So Mr. Meyer, can you explain the circumstance?
Sure. This property that the Kurtz's own, there is a little bit of floodplain on it, but Joe's right. So this is a levee protected area. The valley is like a bathtub. And so there's no Missouri River floodplain on the property, but there is internal floodplain that just touches the property a little bit. And so anything that we would do on the site, we would have to make sure that we're elevated high enough that we're not causing anyone else a problem or impacting anyone on either side of us. And so there is a tiny bit of floodplain, but in general, it's out of the jurisdictional floodplain within the valley, which does have floodplain for the area that rains in there. So I don't know if that answers the question, but it's a big flat field. You're right. And, you know, when it rains a lot, there's going to be some standing water here and there.
He's alive.
Mr. Chair, could I follow up on that?
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just wondering, because I had driven by today and it hasn't rained for a little while, and I was noticing standing water out on the field. And I don't know specifically if that was in this area or not, but I know it's very close at least.
If you look at the site plan that we prepared, in the bottom right-hand corner of the site, there is called out the portion of it that is floodplain. Yep, Travis has got it right there. That little piece is floodplain, and it's floodplain because it's the lowest spot on the property. And there's an elevation there of 461, I believe, and that's the elevation of the 100-year high water within the valley in that area. The high water in the valley changes as you go from east to west, or from west to east. It gets lower down on the eastern end. But so I don't know where you might have been looking, but if you were looking right in that area, there very well could have been standing water there.
Thank you. That is where I was looking. And this, I see it now on the drawing that it says flood zone. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Mayor Boland?
Yeah, so thanks to both of you for being here to present this to the committee. I mean, in a nutshell, I think that this a use that's consistent with that area. And I don't see, speaking for me personally, I don't see any reason why I couldn't support it. So thank you so much for your interest in our city.
Thank you.
And I will say I tend to agree with the mayor on this one. Having worked in the valley for 20 years, a part of me cringes at the amount of development that Chesterfield's done down there. But on the Wildwood side, the uses where we've developed it seem to be much more conducive to a floodplain than what Chesterfield has. And I definitely think that, like the mayor said, what you guys have proposed is consistent with what probably should be in the area. And I don't see any reason not to support this either.
I like this group. I was hoping the mayor would have one of his nice ties on, but we'll ask for that next time.
We'll save that to the formal meeting before planning.
Councilman Brost?
Yeah, thanks. I joined a little late, but looking at the sketch, is the material mainly going to be along the one side and the road only functioning as a turnaround? Is that, or did I miss something joining late?
Tim, can you kind of update that with our thoughts on having that as a paved area towards the building and throughout the majority of the rest of the portion, the rock bins that are shown on the north property line will
Yeah. So those are all different
house
types
the
of
gravel
material
materials
bins,
and then
right?
the mulch. Yeah, all different types of materials. The larger piles will be out in the open area.
Right. They'll be out in the open area behind what we
Surrounding-
call the
kind of surrounding
storage
the driveway
shop
path.
there.
Mhm. Right.
And that's where, the processing will happen, or the mixing, or whatever needs to happen to turn it into mulch. But there'll be paved area up front, and the gravel road that rings around will just make it easy for the in-house, workers to pick up and load and get the mulch or whatever product is being purchased or hauled out. Makes it easier. So yeah, that's, and I don't know if, Matthew, you can explain, you're going to have different processes going on to make the mulch. Is that correct?
Different processes. The mulch material comes in a rough form and a typically a single process form, and then we resize it and age it momentarily until it's ready to be sent back out. So yes, the areas where the processing will be a gravel, crushed gravel base, all weather base, not to have any. We don't want any mud or anything like that to influence our materials or the city streets or anything like that. So it'll all be a crushed gravel compacted base at an engineered design to with drainage and things of that sort to keep it super clean, and it's imperative to keep that material clean for the customer base as well as just keeping a nice orderly operation.
Thank you. So are you, this is just from my curiosity, are you going to be competing with the Fix, or are you kind of complement them?
Mr. Chairman, I would not get into that at all.
Okay,
Respectfully.
fair enough.
We do work together as constituents. We do have a nice working relationship with Fix Supply.
I was just curious if it was the same business or if it was somewhat different.
Similar business model. I like to call us kind of more of a handcrafted microbrew, if you'd say. Smaller batches, higher quality, things of that sort.
Oh, okay. Um,
Not to diminish my neighbor, he has a quality operation as well.
I completely understand. I was just trying to get an idea of what exactly you were planning on doing.
Sure, similar operation. Yes, sir.
Mhm. I probably just asked it in a bad way. Um, are there any further questions or comments? Mayor Bowen? You're
So
muted.
I'll make a motion that the committee, the proposed development is presented.
I'm sorry, I did not hear that part.
Say, I'm making a motion that the committee support the proposed development as presented.
All right. Can I get a second? Second by Councilmember Clark. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, Mr. Meyer, Mr. Kurtz, thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to seeing a more formal proposal before planning and zoning.
I love it.
Thank you very much. We'll be in touch. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Have a good night.
You too.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And Mr. Chair, just very quickly, thanks to all the committee members and others for attending tonight. We really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mayor Bowen to adjourn, seconded by Councilman Member Clark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Meeting's adjourned. All right, thank you.